time, Rabbi Gavriel Shabtai, a very great rabbi. He was born in the English year 1847. He passed away in 1910, I think on the 4th of Cheshvan. So we haven't actually dedicated a video within regards to his career, a few tidbits within regards to it, but I thought now is an opportune time. He'd gone on to become a Dayan. He was a Greek and Yerushalmi rabbi, part of the Greece community, let's just say, in Jerusalem. He was a president of the Sephardic orphanage in Jerusalem, and also take on, I think it was one of the founders of the hospital called Misgab, a place we've spoken about on various occasions before, one of the great rabbis in his generation in Jerusalem. Let's explore a few of the highlights of the famous rabbi's life. Now, we've mentioned him on various occasions before, I believe, inside this series, so it is definitely an opportune time to speak about him again. Now, he was born in an area in Greece called Seleuki. It's a place we've spoken about on various occasions before. It was part of the Ottoman Empire at that stage in time. Now, I believe he actually came from great auspices in himself, great family auspices. I believe he came from, his father was a rabbi, if I'm not mistaken, and his mother was Rabbanit Rachel. She happened to be the daughter of Rabbi Moshe Milo, I believe. And so he would become a really great rabbi under the auspice of his father. I think his father's name was Rav Shabtai ben Gavriel, if I'm not mistaken. So that's very interesting. So he was born in the 1847. Now, come with the year, I think it was around 1870, he'd be at 22, 23 years of age. He would go on now to found in Saloniki in Greece, an organization called the Chevrat Chesed Ve'emet. He'll be appointed, let's say, I think, as one of the great rabbis of the city, the vicinity in itself. Also, he was known as one of the city's great rabbis. And we spoke about another rabbi, especially during his era, and he was very close to him, Rabbi Yaakov Kobo, who was, let's just say, I think, the chief rabbi of the city at that specific point in time. Now, when he hit around 30 years of age, he was this back in the year 1877, he would actually embark and make Aliyat to Eretz Yisrael over there. He would dwell in Jerusalem over there, the holy city of Jerusalem. Come on, 1889, he would be about 42 years of age at that stage, 41 years of age. He would start working as a member of the Bet Din, the Jewish court over there. I think at that point in time, this was headed by Rabbi Yosef Raphael Uziel, another great rabbi we've spoken before. Rabbi Uziel happened to have been a Rosh Yeshiva in his time. He was a Shadar, Shluchei Rabbanan, a great man of the congregation. I think he actually was one of the founders of the Ohel Moshe neighborhood in Jerusalem and the president of the Sephardic community over there, and was also head of Jewish court and had various other important roles. Now, we've spoken about him on various occasions before. That's what we have to say. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, his Rav Ben Zion Meir Uziel, who would go on to become a chief rabbi, Rishon LeZion, and Rav Rashi, I think he somehow was related to him or descended to him. So I think it was either his son or grandson. I have to double check on that, but definitely there was a direct connection within regards to that. But be it as it may, so that's very, very interesting. That's about Rabbi Yosef Raphael Uziel, who had to be very close with Rabbi Gavriel Shabtai. Okay, so we're going off a little bit. So for many years, he would work, Rabbi Gavriel Shabtai, as a gabbai, as warden, I think part of the Kupot Hatamchoi, for the Sephardic community, part of the making sure that people, a charity establishment to help people out. And I think he was close to various other different famous rabbonim over there, especially inside let's just say this this foundation, which you work in, I think, including another famous rabbi, Rabbi Shmuel Nisim, another rabbi we spoke about on various occasions before. I think he was born between the 1840 to 1916. He happened to have been a head of Jewish court of the Sephardi community, also in Jerusalem, and also part of the Misgab hospital. Another rabbi he was close to was Rabbi Yosef Nisim Borla, and also another great rabbi, Rabbi Shmuel Miyuchas. Now, we've spoken about the Miyuchas, famous family, one of the most famous families of Jerusalem, the holy city in itself. And he would be appointed also as a founder, let's just say, or he would become a founder of the Misgab hospital. Now, come on, the year 1907 he was chosen to fill the position, I think, of Rabbi Yaakov Meir as Rav Yaakov Meir himself was a very great rabbi. He would go on, I think on 2 occasions, if I'm not mistaken, to go on the chief rabbi of Jerusalem or Israel, you could say. And he would go on to become Rabbi Gavriel Shabtai, a nasi, a president of the Sephardic orphanage in Jerusalem until he passed away. This would be for about a 3-year, 10-year, respectively. So that is very interesting also. Now, so much more can be said about him. I think we mentioned him on various occasions before. I think he was married, if I'm not mistaken, on 3 occasions. I think his 2 first wives passed away. This is according to the Wikipedia article I am reading to over here. I'm trusting their information, so please double check it. Now, he passed away on the 6th of November in the year 1910. That would have been the 4th of Cheshvan, about 115 years ago here from the time of recording. Now, he had a famous brother that was also a great rabbi, Rabbi Gavriel Shabtai. Rabbi Gavriel Shabtai happens to be one of famous Shluchei Rabbanans, rabbinic emissaries of Betin, head of Jewish courts of the Sephardi community in Israel, and would be a Chacham Bashi, a chief rabbi of Yafa, respectively. And I think he was also the chief rabbi of Tripoli in Libya, and possibly also in Syria, and was part of the Rabbanut Reshit also. That was a very, very famous rabbi. Now, he would also have a famous son, Rabbi Hananiah Gavriel, another great rabbi we've spoken about on various occasions before. He was also head of Jewish court and a president of the Moatzot HaRabbanut. I think in Egypt, actually, happened to be. He was the head of Jewish court, the Sephardi community in Jerusalem, and authored various different great books, including a special She'elot Shuvot question and answers book. That was his son. And his grandson also is famous, being famous rabbi. Sorry, I'm not sure if he was a rabbi or not. Yaakov Yoshua. Hopefully we're going to speak about him at one stage in time. I think he lived between 1905 to 1982. He was, as they say, a Mizrachan. He was, he also, I think he was a Zionist, he was a sofer, he was an investigator, and took on various different important roles, let's just say. I think he was part of the government, Misrata, the Tot, respectively, and a famous person, especially in the Medinat Israel history. Hopefully we will record a video about him, because it seems like his grandson was a chronicler and someone that was really into learning about history also, so I think it will be important at one stage in time we record a video with regards to his grandson, Yaakov Yoshua. I don't think it was Rabbi. Another one of his descendants was Avram Yoshua, someone called Avram Gavriel Boli Yoshua, and he, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he passed away only 3 years ago. He was a sofer. He was, I think he was a famous person. He won a prize in Israel, various different prizes. I think he was a professor also of the University of Haifa, someone very, very high profile. He passed away. He was 85 years of age at the time he passed away. So that I would recommend you to actually research about. Okay, so that's very interesting. And there is much chronicled over with regards to him. I think he's featured in encyclopedias, if I'm not mistaken. He's documented on various different pages. Also, he's featured very much in the biography page of the Mishpachat Yeshua. And I think the famous historian Moshe David Gaon will actually feature Rav Gavriel Shabtai in his book. I believe it actually happened to have been on page 661 in that book, respectively. So he was a very famous rabbi of his time, and I think it was famous Dayan. Also, it was a Greek Jerusalem rabbi, passed away on Dalet Cheshvan in that specific year. It was part of the Ottoman Empire. They were at the time he passed away. So that's something else important, let's just say, within regards to him. Now, friends, we're a community here. We're trying to learn about the famous rabbis. Yes, sir. Yeah, if you descend from any of the great Tamim we are speaking about, please send me an email. I would love to hear more information. Now, if you feel anyone is interested in watching any of these video content, please share these videos also to other people and help the community grow. We're going from strength to strength. We also record videos on various different, let's say, great synagogues also, great yeshivot, and so on and so forth. We have a great Jewish personality every day to give us some wisdom. In most occasions, it's actually a rabbi that will speak to us and inspire us, and so much more. So I'd recommend everyone to look more into it, and wishing you all a good day and a fantastic day. And please subscribe. We're nearing a staggering 7,000 subscribers, which is a phenomenal achievement. I hope we can go from strength to strength, friends. So on that note, I'm going to wish you a good night here from the city of Bet Shemesh. Take care, and thank you for spending the time to watch and enjoy.